Hello again, and welcome everyone to another episode of On the Range Podcast with Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, along with my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it is going great. I just want to thank the viewers, listeners out there for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune into the show. Guys, I'm going to ask you to do me a huge favor. I got it. Every single one of you listeners, do me a favor. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please. If you're driving, I got it. Pull over, find that safe spot whenever you get to your destination. But man, hit that subscribe button on whatever platform, or I'll be greedy and say platforms you listen to. And then do us a huge favor. Hit that rating review button. Of course, 5 stars are always welcome. I don't care if it's a thumbs up emoji in the review. Just give us something to bump this whole algorithm. Because again, we're just trying to extend that reach out there to the OTR universe so everyone can have the pleasure of enjoying the podcast. Speaking of that, you know, if you guys like what you're hearing, you want a little more from what we're doing, go check out our Patreon page, which is Patreon.com/On the Range Podcasts. Here's the deal, guys. Training tips, early access, exclusive content for our patrons only. But really, I think here's the part that sweetens the deal. Twice a month, Zoom calls with me and Mark. You know, we get in there, and it's an interactive Zoom call, right? So it's just not, hey, man, you tune in and listen to us run our soup coolers. No way, man. We're going around the horn. We're hitting the patrons. You know, this thing is, we're extended all over the world. We've got to run it at 2 different times for those Zoom calls because, again, we got people international. We're trying to accommodate as best as we can. So, again, that's Patreon.com/On the Range Podcast. Jump in that Zoom call, you know, and we solve all the world's problems. So that's the beauty.
A couple times a month, everything's solved.
Yeah,
all
man.
you gotta do is tune in. Yeah, man.
That's it.
Wherever you are, guys, thank you for making us part of your day. At the very least, do us a favor. Go to warhog.com, KelleyDefense.com, and share these audios and videos. Well, your boys are at it, scouring all the news feverishly. No, but we are catching a few things that are coming up. A couple of big items that have happened. We're going to talk about 2 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Today is the big day. The big day for the first presidential State of the Union address by President Biden. Now, he did address the world in front of Congress, you know, shortly after his election. But this is the first State of the Union. And I'll be honest with you. I did an article today on KelleyDefense.com about it. And we're going to talk a little bit about that particular topic. But they need a win. The Democratic Party needs a win, and they have talked about it. A lot of sound bites coming out of a retreat that just occurred down in Florida. I thought we hated Florida, but hey,
warm weather. Yeah. Everyone likes the warm, so yeah,
it's free down there too. But yeah, they need a win, and we talked about this pre-production, and they need a win, and it's going to be interesting. Now, this is, you know, obviously being taped before that. It's about ready to start in about 35 minutes. But, yeah, they need a big-time win. And he isn't really good in front of the mic. So let's see what happens, right?
No, I mean, here's the bottom line. The State of the Union has already been written by whatever his, you know, speech writers are. I just hope, you know, I would have more respect for him if he just came out and said, hey, the State of the Union is weak at best, because let's be an honest broker. We're not doing well. Shockingly, within the last year, we've seen catastrophic items happen. You know, you're right, Mark. He might try to throw a win going, oh, look, I got rid of masks. But that's it, man. I mean, the American people are feeling it financially. You pretty much cut our throat for being energy independent. We're relying on other people, which I know will translate here down the road in a bit. Yeah. But, you know, here's the thing, man. I think out in California, I saw $5+ a gallon for gas out there. For over $5, man. Crude's at an all-time high. I think I saw today was like $119 a barrel. Out of control, man. Out of control. And here's the thing. You're killing the American people, the working class of this country. You're cutting their throats. So versus sitting there blowing, you know, smoke up the rear, be an honest broker and go, hey, man, I'd have more respect for the man if he came out and said, you know what, I screwed up. Yeah, you're right. You did. Take your, you know, your Green Deal, your all this other crap. And trust me, I'm all about the environment as well, but you executed poorly. and
Yeah.
we're paying for it, and we
Yeah.
still don't have supply trains open. We still got dramas. You know, let's go,
Yeah.
Brandon. That's all I can say, man.
Yeah,
So,
inflation's out of sight. The
mhm.
energy costs are out of sight because we are not any longer at this point energy efficient. Just it's not happening. And like you said, there's a big point to that concerning international geopolitical stuff.
Mhm.
But it it's not a surprise to me that a lot of these mandates in all these blue states, Democratic led, and we talked about this. We
Mhm.
knew that those internal polls came out. The people in their own party. Now, a lot of these internal polls, when I say that, that's in their own party, were devastatingly bad
Yeah.
for the Biden administration and all the local politicians like Gavin and all these other guys. Now,
Mhm.
California is a different animal, but just horrible, horrible numbers. All of a sudden, things start turning around. You start seeing doctors showing up on CNN telling, hey, we don't need to wear masks anymore. The science has changed and all this other stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that most of the mandates that are still existing, including New York, Oregon, I think Washington State, they're
Mhm.
all ending this week, like Wednesday, the day after or a week after the freaking
Yeah.
State of the Union. Come on, nobody's going to believe that that's not what's going on. American people at this point don't care. They want them done. They're tired of living in this
Mhm.
bizarro world that we have going on right now. But I think he's going to talk about the economy. He's going to have to. He's going to have to mention inflation. And he's going to have to talk about Ukraine. Now, I don't know. Do you think he's going to mention the border? Do you think he's going to mention?
Nope.
I
The
don't
border.
know.
Here's the thing. You got to look at what are his wins. All right. And again, he hasn't done anything at the border, right? The border's not a win. That's, that's Swiss cheese. So can't go there. Um, I've heard some people say, could you look at, and this is weak sauce at best, and I know we'll deep dive into this, but rallying the world to get behind Ukraine. I don't call that a win. And, bottom line, we let them down. We gave them a promise back in the 90s. To me, that's a loss. So sorry, Uncle Joe, that you don't get one on that. The mask deal, that thing hasn't worked from the get-go, right? That's not a win. I don't know where his win is. I'm looking, and I'm trying to be positive, right? Let's,
Oh, yeah.
You've got, in Rick's opinion, there are no wins. You've done nothing except make us in a worse spot than we were. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The deficit went up $7 trillion.
Mhm.
And that's without his big Build Back Better not getting through. So that's a loss. Like you said, the border is a disaster. They're hiding what they're doing at this point. The CDC is withholding statistics because I tell you what they're going to do. They're going to release those statistics at the end of a news cycle on a Friday after everybody's already outside their mask and no one's going to care anymore. That's going to happen. Okay. It's going to show that the Pfizer and some of these other vaccines for these young people actually had a negative effect. It didn't work. We have more deaths and cases now than we did last year, same time. So that can't be a win. But he's going to take it as a win, saying, "Hey, we together, along with my fantastic leadership, destroyed COVID." No, you didn't. The zero COVID. Remember, we're not going to do anything until we're down to zero COVID. They moved those goalposts up. That's not happening anymore. No. So the inflation, the energy, the supply chains, foreign policy, and the border, absolutely crazy. And you're right. And we're going to talk about this later down the road, but we all know, at least if you don't know, you should realize this. Gas prices are going to start going up. Gas prices are going to go up. One reason, we are not energy dependent. We are not energy dependent.
No. And here's the thing. He basically took over and we were good to go. Right. And this is the boggling part.
Rolling. Yeah. Everybody making money.
Making money. We were independent. We didn't need anyone else's rubbish, right? And then first stroke of the pen, Keystone Pipeline, gone. Hey, first day in office, let's can 40,000 hardworking Americans fired. Way to go, Uncle Joe, right?
Yeah.
And we knew it was going to be a trickle-down effect because as soon as you start having to go to other people, man, they're going to start charging you more and more and more. And we're seeing it.
Yeah, new drilling, fracking, offshore drilling, gone.
Everything gone. Leases,
Gone. Yeah.
everything, everything with this grandiose vision of, green energy, electric cars, yada yada yada. I want to know what the impact is for all them batteries we burn through. What do we do with those? How do we dispose of those? How's that green? I think it briefs
Yeah.
well. If you really want to go green, here's a novel concept. The diesel engine, do your research, was never designed to run on petroleum. It's designed to run on peanut oil.
Yeah.
Shocking. What would that take to reharness that? Has anyone looked at that? Why would we, right?
No.
I mean, it's just when we stand back and try to go, we've got to have all these green deals. Yeah, I'm with it, man. Cool. If it makes sense. But how come no one's ever, somebody show me a study we ever looked at, hey, let's turn diesel engines back to peanut oil. What's that do for the environment? It's got to be good, right? I mean, they're peanuts coming from the ground. So,
Roger that.
Plus grab a snack, I mean,
who doesn't like peanuts?
Yeah. But I just don't see it's going to be part of me sitting there going, do I watch it or not watch it? Do I waste an hour plus of my life that I'll never get back to listen to him just rumble and ramble? On the only positive side I can see is I think he can still currently read. I mean, he can't hold a conversation, but luckily he can at least read. He may
At
not
this
know
point, I believe he still can read.
Yeah, I mean, so whatever the speechwriters put up there, and damn,
can you imagine how many times that speech had to have been rewritten?
Oh God!
Every time he said something, I got. Don't let me forget the Kamala Harris thing. But every time he said something or did something or made some kind of decision, them speechwriters are rushing back in that room, man.
They're like, "What are you doing?" Yeah.
Yep. Got to scratch that out. Yeah.
But
unbelievable.
Here's the thing, Mark. Right? I mean, I wish no ill intent on the man, right? But imagine.
No, I want him to freaking get booming economy, but he's just not.
He's not the guy for it, right? But imagine this, some teenage hacker somehow gets into the teleprompter. Imagine if he starts rewriting the speech. I don't know if that's even possible or how that whole teleprompter system works. Hey, Brandon, you suck. Hey, Brandon, you suck. Oh, hey, man. I mean, because I don't
like how he just turns around, just kind of walks away.
Yeah,
just leaves.
Just
hey, you know what I say? That's a power move. I'm done. I don't care. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out of here. This is the end of the thing.
It could. Well, see, here's the thing. It could be, right? It could be because Reagan. Let me see. If anyone mastered the power move, I think Reagan mastered it, right? Especially when he was around Marine One, and they'd be, yelling stuff. That guy hears a, huh? Can't hear you. Walks off.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And I mean, there's a time and place that you power move, but it's when you show that power, right? You delivered your message to the point. Boom. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the mic drop. Bam. I got nothing else to say. 180, walk out. And people are just like, whoa, he owned the room. But when you stutter.
Yeah, with this guy, though, everybody, as soon as he turns around and leaves there, goes, what the hell did that guy just say?
Yeah. Translator. Can someone give me the Biden translator? What just came out of his mouth? Because we have absolutely no idea. Speechwriter, they'd be better off just handing out the speech prior to. Let me
those
read
poor
it.
speechwriters, man.
God bless, man.
Because there's all kind of concerns if you're his speechwriters of what you can and can't have this guy say, because he's going to get tongue tied. He's not going to understand what he's reading.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you sit there and put it down? Because I got it. You want to have common speech. You don't want to throw in some big words because, again, there'll be some people that won't understand. And I don't say that in a bad way, but when you look at, I think if I recollect correctly, most of like your newsprint or when it was printed, however much is being printed now, it's typically they try to keep it about a 5th grade average, right? So that way people can read and they're comprehending what they're reading. So, these guys got to be writing about at that point. So again, not throwing big words, not confusing people. And oh, by the way, the person that's reading isn't being confused himself. So,
Yeah.
um, but I don't. God,
Yeah. I don't know where it's going to come from because, like you said, nothing, nothing what the government is supposed to be doing is better now than it was before. It's just not.
no,
None of
no.
it. And he didn't get any of his big legislation. Still figured out a way to spend $7 trillion.
Yeah,
But yeah, he didn't get anything passed. Half of his party had to have voted that down because they control both House and the Senate.
well,
Now he's going to have to mention his new justice appointee, but
that
it's not a big deal because it's not a swing seat.
well, it's not. But I think he's going to make it a big deal, right? Because really,
He's going to have to. He's going to have to.
it would not surprise me if the majority of the State of the Union was spent talking about her. I mean,
Could be.
because he's got nothing else. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you can sit there and give your predictions, right? Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Dude, you had a year and you crushed us. We can't take 3 more years of your vision,
No.
your direction without a serious 180. So,
No. And you know what? She may be a brilliant jurist. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. Haven't really read up about her. But like I said, it's not a swing seat. Had a retiree, and they just swapped one for the other. And I have to believe that their views are very similar. But she may be a brilliant jurist. So hey, okay, great,
but
whatever. But that's to me. Most people do not care about that, unless
No.
we're talking about Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment,
Sure.
First Amendment. But how those things aren't what usually they're talking about. They're talking about trade and all these other things that don't affect guys like you and me who are just going to work every day.
Yeah. But here's the key part, Mark, right? You brought up a great point, and I got to hit on it, right? Because when you look at it, they pick people who their beliefs are in line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when you look at our judicial system. Our justice system is supposed to be blind. Yet, here's
That's
a
a good
prime
point.
example. Lady Justice is not blind. She's not, man. She's persuaded, by personal beliefs and stuff like that. And it just always kills me that why aren't we picking justices? It's like, dude, your beliefs don't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel on the Second Amendment. I'll just use that one as a prime example. Because the Constitution of the United States says one thing, shall not be infringed, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere to go with it. So it doesn't matter whether they anti-gun, pro-gun. It boggles my mind because you hit that point, right? They always look for people who are in line. I don't want you. I want the person that can read the Constitution, understand the English language, and not add anything to it. Don't tell me it's a living document. It's anything. Nope.
Oh yeah. I love that.
The
Constitution is fluid.
No.
Fluid my ass.
Our founding fathers.
Not fluid.
No, it's not. And that's the problem, right? Our founding fathers were absolute geniuses. The more and more and more I look back, say what you want, man. These guys, they were sharp. And I look at our leaders we have today, and I'm like, God, our founding fathers are just rolling in the grave going, what are you people doing to this great country we built? Because they're destroying it and tearing it down. Everything they wanted, and I get it. We're not perfect. We got our flaws as a country, but man, we're just inflicting.
And that's
some serious damage.
that's why our buddy from up north, that's why they're those great citizens of Canada are having the problems that they're having because of things like that. It's not fluid. You got to go through law. You got to go through all kinds of stuff to start taking away civil liberties.
Yep.
And this is what you run into. That's what you start having up in Canada. That's exactly when you start believing that the Constitution is fluid. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's very simple and it's matter of fact.
It is. And, since we're on it, I got to bring up, I'm going to hit it, man. And I think it'll kind of tie into, our next kind of segment here. But you talk about the Second Amendment. Okay. Man, let's think about it. So you got the current situation going on over in Ukraine, right? And they're handing out guns to the citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Man, probably should have done that beforehand, right?
Yeah.
But I look at us. You think about this. We won our independence with firearms.
Mm-hmm.
We kept the Japanese, in my opinion, from invading this country because we were an armed society and they knew it. And the translation will go between blade of grass or door. Doesn't matter. The general being is they knew we were armed. There's something to be said about an armed society. And you got to think how many other potential invasions, people turned away because they're like, man, I don't want to go against them boys. And especially when you got, you got Americans. I mean, it's part of our culture. People can shoot. Granted, some better than others, but it's a part of us.
Yeah.
And I would just hope that there's some people that would see current day, events going, wow, I don't think I'm going to say anything about anti-gun.
Yeah.
Because look at it. They're in the fight for their life right now over there in the Ukraine. I mean,
and they had to depend on other European Union countries to send them guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they didn't have them.
Well,
they probably had some.
I saw some stuff coming out of them busting out some of the old Soviet green crates of AKs. So they probably had their wartime or their military stash somewhere. But busting them out and handing them, out to their citizens. Say what you want. There's something to be said for having an armed society. It does a lot for that country's security, in my opinion. And I think, the founding fathers and some of their wording, that's why they picked the wording they did. So,
But so for all of you who haven't really kept up with the situation in Ukraine and Russia invading, just to kind of give you a rundown, I believe, and Rick and I have talked about this before, that the situation in Afghanistan, showing the response that we had there and how we just allowed the Taliban just to walk right back in, that was a sign. I think those type of responses and how we continue to respond, and then how we responded to the two provinces, the independent provinces, according to Putin, which they're not. They belong to Ukraine, Donetsk and Luhansk, and they just walked in there. Russia just walked in there, no response. That at that moment was a green light for Russia to go ahead and go into Ukraine. And we've known this was going to happen for months. Biden had talked about it. No response, no sanction. That, to me, I believe the weakness that was shown, or the lack of response, triggered thinking, well, this is just going to be like Afghanistan. They're just going to leave us alone. I'm going in now because we're running out of time. Everybody's poised and postured, and here we are.
But see, here's a critical part, Mark, right? We got to rewind the tape, because I believe it was either 94 or 96. We asked the Ukrainians to give up their nuclear weapons. So understand, when the Soviet Union fell, there were nuclear weapons in the Ukraine. We, as the United States,
they were a nuclear power. Yeah.
Well, they were part
I'm
of
not
the
sure
Soviet
on the date either, but
right. But they were part of the Soviet Union. Okay. And again, it's when you're looking at just think of it this way, right? So for the viewers, listeners out there, to kind of give you a picture. Granted, we've got 50 states. Okay. The Soviets had, I believe it was 13 when they were the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, right? So I think they had 13 states. Obviously, Russia, Ukraine, they had nuclear weapons there at that point. So when everything got broken down and became their own independent countries, we went to the Ukrainians and we were like, hey, dude, give us or give up your nuclear weapons. Because again, during that time, a lot of instability, who had what controls to what, nuclear devices. It was turmoil over there. But we were, we basically got those nuclear weapons from them, but we gave them this promise: you give them up and we'll protect you. Wow. Okay. You knew Putin, who basically wants to get the Soviet Union back together, was massing forces. Okay. What did you do from the United States standpoint as a show of force? Right? Just a mere show of force. Because that's all it would have took.
Some kind of response, yes.
Something. Cool. Something. You're moving troops to the border? Okay. Maybe we sit there and talk with our NATO allies, and we kind of buff up their borders.
Yeah,
Again,
and it's not just United States. I think all the Western countries pretty much just kind of allowed it to happen
sure.
when they
But
rolled across those two territories.
but here's the thing, Mark. Right? We gave our word to the Ukrainians. Give us your nuclear weapons. So in essence, would Putin have gone in if Ukraine still had their own nukes? Let's think about it. I
Yeah,
don't think he would
probably
have.
not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Nuclear weapons are a hell of a deterrent, right?
Yeah.
What kind of kept things at bay between us and the Soviets? Nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So we, in essence, took their nuclear weapons away from him. He's got the green light, to roll into Ukraine and scoop up another Soviet satellite. So our response was poor at best. But I think even with all that going, here's the part I can't get. Russians bumped up their nuclear status or their emergency, whatever I forget their little word they use, but they readied their nukes to a closer level. So here in the US, we're at a DEFCON level. So typically it's 1 through 5, 1 being, hey, you're at nuclear war. Pretty much we sit at 4. Why the hell didn't, when Putin said, hey, I'm bumping mine up, why are we not at DEFCON 3?
Yeah.
I mean, he's readying his nuclear weapons. Why are we not? And I sit there, that's weakness. And again, people will go, well, is it? You damn right it is.
Yeah.
I
think people are starting to kind of realize, and how many times have we talked about how being raised to be very weary of communism and Russians back in the day, and all the propaganda and films and stuff like that, and having gone through bomb drills in our elementary school.
Yeah,
I hate
fallout
communism.
shelters, dude.
Yep.
No,
I hate it.
Yeah,
Hate
it is not. It briefs well. It executes very poorly. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all equal. We're all the same. Yada yada. No, we're not. No way, dude. You look at the Soviets when they were running in power, right? If you were somehow part of the hierarchy, man, you got better treatment. It wasn't like if you're just Snuffy Joe, working out in the fields versus the factory dude versus somebody up in there, legislator, high military, whatever. Y'all didn't live in the same place. No way, dude. There was definitely a pecking order. And it was like you either provided for the state or you got the boot. And you look at a prime example was the athletes. So especially if you were an Olympic athlete, right? You lived well. Your family lived well because they strapped with you and you were being taken by the state. Go ahead and fail. Go ahead and get injured. Go ahead. Something happens. Dude, you're no longer an asset. Gone. See ya. You go from your nice apartment down to the dumps. It's a horrible system execution, on the execution side. But man, there's nothing good about communism, right? So look at China. Let's just stop for a minute, people. Let's put you in check. Everyone thinks, oh, China, they're our buddies. No, they're not. They're still a communist country, right? Go to China and jump on Google. Let me know how that works out for you. Won't happen. Go to China and sit there and go, hey, man, this is the dumbest thing ever. You're gone, never to be heard from again, right? It is not a good form of government. But we all want to sit there and embrace it and everything else. Putin, what he has going on, personally, I think he just wants the old Soviet Union back together.
Oh yeah, he's living in 1983,
dude. 100%.
He wants it back.
He wants it back.
He is going to be savage. And he lied to his troops. To be fair to some of the soldiers, some of the news that are coming out, they were lied to, saying that the Ukrainians were going to welcome them. And next thing you know, they're like, well, why are we blowing this up, or why are we doing this? They're laying on their tracked vehicles and they're getting underneath their armored cars and stuff. And there's a lot of reports where they're not doing anything. The Russian soldiers, they were lied to as well.
Well, here's the thing you got to understand about the Russians, right? They're still, in essence, a conscript army. I believe they're 80% conscript. right?
Mm-hmm.
Conscript being, hey man, you're being forced in there.
Yeah.
Kind of the old Soviet-esque that we've seen before. Funny how nothing have changed. But you're starting to hear reports, right? Where now, again, you've got conscripts going, hey, what are we doing? We were told one thing, this isn't happening. Now you're hearing things like, oh, how did my gas tank get all these holes in it and I'm leaking fuel and now my vehicle is not going anywhere?
Yeah.
So you have, in one essence, the Russian forces who Putin's all pissed that they didn't get what he wanted, but then again, they don't really want to be there, versus a country that their freedom is very much in jeopardy and they're fighting to the very last,
Yeah.
So you have to look at it this way. If somebody, and I won't steal all my thunder from my words of wisdom and the Red Dawn episode, you'll have to go listen to that for yourself. But, what would people do here if your freedom was going to be stripped away? How far are they looking to go? And, you see the Ukrainian people, man, they're stepping up to the plate. They just want, hey, man, they're not really asking for anyone else's help. They're just really saying, hey, give us the guns, the bullets, the javelins. We'll do the work. Give us some body armor, helmets. They're putting that request for their stuff. But to the best of my knowledge, they haven't one iota gone, hey, send us some troops.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't think they've even asked for like armor, aircraft. They're pretty much bare bones basic. I mean, there's a lot to be said for it. And I think, Zelensky getting up there pretty much, hey, we can evac you out. Dude, I ain't going anywhere. Send me some bullets.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really, got the Germans and some of the rest of the EU to go, wow, okay, he's in it to win it. What can we do to supply him? So it's once again, my opinion, I say this with no disrespect to my fellow Americans, but you really don't know what it's like not to have freedom. And Ukraine isn't that far removed. Granted, some people are, but they're not that far removed from under that Soviet era and what it is, not to have freedom. It's think about what, the whole poor withdrawal out of Afghanistan. What would drive a man to hold on to a side of an aircraft to try to leave his country? I mean, that's freedom. That's freedom, man.
Freedom.
Trust me.
Freedom.
Yeah. And we don't get it. So,
So, for those who don't know what the situation is, pretty much that Kyiv is pretty much surrounded. And then outside of them, the Russians are surrounded. So
I got to cut you off, Mark.
Go ahead.
I don't know. So it's not Kyiv. I mean, Kiev. Why aren't we saying it? Why aren't we saying
changed it? They changed it because Kyiv is the way that the Ukrainians pronounce it.
Oh, Kiev is how the Russians say it.
Kiev is the way the Russians. So they're
sorry. I'm still in my Soviet ways. So
that's the reason why. And it's another piece of we don't even talk like you. You know what I mean? Get the hell out of here. So what's going to end up happening is Putin, like you said, wants it back. He wants it back. He cannot take a heavy loss. That would be horrific for him. So you know what they're going to start hitting? They're going to start hitting civilian targets. It's just a matter of time. They've already started. They started last night. Yeah. And it's just going to get worse and it's going to get escalated. Well, and this is the same thing we've been talking about. This is what we hate about them, and they are savages. I'm talking about communism. I'm not talking about the individual who doesn't like communism and are in a horrific position. I'm talking about the whole thing, and Putin and his goons, and there's a lot of them. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. You hit it on the head. Second Amendment. Yeah. Let's hear the arguments now, guys. That this is we don't need to hunt. We need to get rid of our guns. Let's hear the arguments now, and don't think this can't happen. Don't think it can't happen.
100%. 100% it can, and that's the thing is it doesn't take much, right? No. But here's the thing with Putin that really worries me. He doesn't necessarily control the men on the ground, right? So how do you get conscripts to do something you don't want to? I mean, they can all turn tail and go, right?
Sure.
Here's the part that bothers me. If this guy is off the rocker, and people are saying that his mental capacity that have known him is kind of in question. All right. What happens if he opts to sit there and go, let me just take a low yield nuke, right? I don't need to drop it right on the city. Go a couple kilometers, north, south, east, west, whatever, and detonate something like that. What if I sit there and decide to launch some chem in there and gas these people? I mean, he's got the capability to do some ugly stuff. And that's the part that really worries me more. I don't think that the Russian army is going to go anywhere. I just don't see them doing anything. There's some odd things that's raising my eyebrows to go, we're missing something or not getting the whole truth, right? So let's be an honest broker. This day and age, cell phones, you don't see a lot of cell phone footage of gunfights going on, Ukrainian, Russians going back and forth, right? It's kind of the same footage back and forth. Putin called up to the Chechens, which the Chechens have a reputation of just being absolutely ruthless. Haven't seen anything about the Chechens, right? So it's like, hey, we're moving them there. Haven't seen anything. Some reporting questionable whether their leader got schwacked or not. So just from Rick's standpoint, standing back going, man, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's not making a bunch of sense. But at the end of the day, go ahead.
Just to go ahead and finish your thought, I was just going to say we can move to another topic where we're talking about the cell phone service and stuff like that. But go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, I'm just going. It's odd that you're seeing like some pieces move, but there's no execution. I'm going to tell you straight up. When I heard he was calling up, I think it was like 60,000 Chechens. I'm like, oh, good Lord, man. Because them dudes, they are absolute ruthless, man. But I haven't heard, I don't even know if they got into Ukraine or not. I don't know. So it's just kind of interesting. Yeah.
Get back to the, anyway, guys, if you're listening and you like what you're hearing, give us a 5-star rating, share, and like all these videos. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, give us a 5-star rating, and make sure you go check out warhog.com and kelleydefense.com at the very least. Share these audio and videos. But the whole thing about the internet and keeping the wave of information and people hitting their TikTok and all this stuff, huge that Elon Musk jumped in and opened up his Stargate freaking mobile stuff so that people can continue to get this information out. Huge point of rallying around the information and everybody kind of having a response.
Yeah, no, and
huge
because that was, from the get-go, that was the Russians' deal, was misinformation. If you control information, you can persuade people. Hell, you can tell lies that they'd be none the wiser. So if you're in city X, they're none the wiser to go, hey, citywide just fell to the Russians. What? It did. Right. Oh man, does that break somebody's morale? It could,
Sure. But and then on the flip side, if they can see it and you can't stop people from seeing what's really going on, there's your, people saying, hey man, this ain't right. This ain't right. Yeah. This is bull crap. We got 16 to 60-year-old women out there freaking fighting. This ain't right. So,
well, but it's not. Here's the thing, Mark, right? It's not right, but it's so right because it shows that national pride. It shows that's what freedom looks like, right? So you got to look at, hey, that 60-year-old woman, she grew up under the Soviets. Why do you think she's there? You think she's out there because of, hey, I'm going to go fight for my family? Yeah, she is, because she knows what that Soviet oppression is. She knows what communism is. There's a high probability she knows somebody in her family circle that was taken away, never to be seen again, right? So I get it. When I see that, I go, boom, got it. But then you're even seeing it down to the, even the younger generations. And I think here's the key part. it's sharing that history. So if you don't pass on, because let's be an honest broker, we haven't had combat in the U.S. on U.S. soil, for like 160 years. So Civil War is the last time we fought, and that was American against American, bloody, no business, right? But that history is lost, except for what's kind of taught or changed in the history books or whatever rubbish we opt to do, right? They're not that far removed from communism. And I guarantee those grandparents are sharing to their kids, you've got to get in there. You don't want these guys back in here, because it'll just be an onslaught, man. There will be no more Ukrainians. I guarantee, if something were to happen, genocide is rolling in. And
yeah.
Well,
we're going to get ready to watch the State of the Union, and we're going to keep an eye on this Ukrainian-Russian war, and that's what it is. They're fighting for their independence.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'm not an expert on this stuff, but growing up in the Cold War era and just being terrified of bombs and nuclear fallout and all that stuff, and the Russians in that movie Red Dawn,
Soviets,
man. It's just
I don't think we call them Russian. I think they were just Soviets.
Yeah. I hate communism. And all those Eastern European countries, some of them are still alive to remember how when the Russians were pushing through to Germany, how savage they were.
Oh yeah.
And Stalin and all that. It's just a disaster, and it's evil, and it's freaking coming for the Ukrainians. And I hate them. I hate the communist ideal. I just hate it. And I don't want it spreading, No. And if anybody thinks that this isn't important to what China is going to do to Taiwan, they're sorely mistaken. And I think finally, we didn't really hit on this. You brought it up, the not being energy dependent and buying all the natural gas and crude from Russia. So some people are like, well, how come we didn't do something sooner and hit these heavy sanctions? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we didn't do that until the European Union did it. They shut down SWIFT, the international banking system. We didn't do that because we know there's no way for us to even buy it. There's no way for them to receive payment now for the crude and stuff. So guys, gals, your gas is going up because we aren't drilling, we aren't pumping, and we aren't selling. And then, they're coming back and they're saying, hey, Saudi Arabia put out more production. No. Hey guys, get back to work and start drilling.
Yeah.
That's what he should do.
Well, it just goes to show, Keystone, fire it back up, right? But the problem is we're too late in the game because it's going to take time. And how much time, I don't know. That's the if
they put everything behind it, 30 to 45, 60 days, if they put everything behind it, we can start opening it up. But even in 60 days, Mark, right? Oh yeah.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen in 60 days? Where's the price of crude going to go to? We're already at $120 a barrel, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
which is triple to what it really should be.
Sure. And here's the thing. Russian oil's rubbish, man. It is absolute garbage. But, they want to talk about green deals and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putin's going, that stuff's going to the U.S. here. Let me sprinkle some freaking little bit of uranium we pulled out from the Chernobyl exclusion zone. There you go, guys. Stick that in your tanks.
Yeah.
It's just, we're in a bad place.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
The first year of this presidency. And I'm curious to see what he's going to say and where he's going to find any inspiration to, anybody. Well, it's not going to happen. Oh, I got to bring something up about your governor. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
Don't let me forget.
Yeah. Just the one last closing piece, right? With this whole, Russian Ukraine, don't forget the Bidens got their fingers in the cookie jar, right?
Oh God. Yeah.
So they've had their fingers in the cookie jar with the Russians and Ukrainians. Just go look at Hunter's bank accounts. That's all. That's all I'm going to say, right? Which actually surprised me because I would have thought Uncle Joe would have been in there a lot quicker, just to keep the boys' money coming. But here nor there.
Yeah.
So,
but to circle back a little bit and talk about where he's going to find a win. They had this retreat and all these governors and everybody's talking. So your boy, what's his name? Wheeler?
Cooper.
Yeah.
Just we call him Coop.
They throw a mic in front of him. He goes, the environment's not where we want it to be. I'm like, dude, the environment, we got some geopolitical rubbish going on. We got freaking inflation on it, and you're talking about the environment.
Well,
oh man, what a great soundbite that was. Go check that one out.
Well, here's a better one. My governor, who I didn't vote for, who vetoes the repealing of Jim Crow laws.
Yeah,
buddy.
Mm-hmm. He sure did.
Appreciate your support, pal. You know, but he's gonna go, hey, the environment's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Listen,
hey man, California, Washington, Oregon, New York City schools, enjoy your freedom. You're getting it back. Don't forget where the initial issue came from. This is self-imposed, folks.
Oh, it's
self-imposed. They took this away from you. Now they're giving it back like they're doing something for you.
Yeah. Well,
don't fall for it.
Here's the thing. Coop in essence superseded North Carolina legislation, right? Yeah. Hey, wear a mask.
Classic Coop, man.
Yeah, classic Coop. Hey, dude, it's illegal. You don't have that power to just rewrite legislation. But hey, what do I know? You know, I'm just I'm a thankful citizen of these here United States. And you know what? I live in the greatest country in the world as far as all my other Americans do. Here's the deal, man. We're not perfect by any means, but we've got the power. And this year's our power year, man. So if you made some bad choices, let's just say at the ballot box, all that can be fixed this year, man. It happens. It happens. Here's the thing, man. We got 7 Green Berets running for office. 7. Dude. Yeah. I'm stoked because I really think we're going to see a super shift. And
we got to start having some of them on the show. We had Tony on.
Yep.
We need to get him back. We need to have some of those others on the show.
Yeah. We need to just, you know, get them out. And I'm stoked, man. But you're seeing that. You're seeing, you know, not to my Navy brethren, but some of the SEALs are stepping up to the plate. Good for you guys. About time, you know, quit writing your books and movies.
And your swimsuit calendars.
Yeah. But
you love those guys.
Love them, man. And there's some other veterans as well. So you're seeing the veteran community, you know, again, guys who have seen kind of firsthand what oppression looks like. Guys who have actually, you know, fought for this country. It's like, hey, man, we don't like what we're seeing. So at the end of the day, guys, here's the bottom line. It's freedom. And ours is floating in the balance. So, you know, we want to enjoy it.
Yeah, man, for all you guys that are out there loving freedom up north Canada, hang in there, guys. Vote that jackass out.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how your system works, but make sure that never happens again. You got a lot of good folks in the parliament up there that are trying to do the right thing. A lot of them voted that stuff in, man. It wasn't even close. So keep after it. Stay in there, and we're pulling for you. We love you guys up there. But man, you're right. Hey guys, again, make sure you share these audio and videos. Hit the like, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. Make sure you go and check out warhog.com and kellydefense.com and check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/On the Range Podcast. Again, patreon.com/On the Range Podcast. Another good one, man. Let's go check out that State of the Union, and let's see how much better we're supposed to be feeling about the country.
Well, I'm pulling out my pom-poms and my Let's Go Brandon signs, and it's going to be a good one, buddy. So I'm stoked, man. But here's the bottom line, my fellow Americans. We're still in the greatest country. Keep your heads up, guys, and trust me, we'll get through it, man. So it's all good.
Get up, go to work tomorrow, and push forward and smell the freedom.
Love it, man. Smell the freedom. Every single day. Yeah, man.
Every day. All right, buddy. Take care, guys.
See you guys.